This is the DX2E Brazilian, and in this video, I'm going to find out if it's any good. To do that, I'm going to need to unbox it, and I love doing that on camera so that you can see exactly what it is you get when you open the box. Very well protected. We've got one of these plastic things that my kids love to jump on. It's in a case. I didn't know it was in a case. Well, it's in a soft case slash padded gig bag. Pop that down there for a second. It's embroidered with Martin & Co. It's got a pocket just there with some goodies in, which you get a little scan for important information found here. And you also get some information about the batteries that you have inside the guitar. There's also a little grippy thing there, because I like to grip my cases there. That's useful. I also like to have one on the back. Shame there isn't one there, but there is one single strap that you can switch sides. I was wondering why there's this on that side, but you can go from that shoulder to that shoulder by unclipping a thing here. There we go. I think it's important to talk about things like the padded case because this is aimed at getting people playing guitar. And while it isn't a budget model, it certainly is more affordable for Martin. I'm very excited about opening this to see what's inside. In fact, let's do it together. Looks like a Martin to me. All right, you get this guarantee, which for me is in German. That's a beautiful blue in that case. I've hardly noticed it. It's beautiful. These things matter, right? It's Velcroed to that little padded thing. How do I get it out? There. Okay. Now, I'll pop the guitar there for now. Just want to draw attention to the fact that you can have a little pick pocket in there. I think that's brilliant. Well, you could put anything in there. I'd put picks in there. So let's turn this around the right way and have a good look on the top-down camera. That is the body, which you might notice is a little bit smaller than your regular Dreadnought body. We've also got the classic Martin headstock, a Martin hang tag, and those of you with really good eyes might be able to see the tuner is just in there. And that is one of my favorite features of this range of Martin acoustic guitars. So when you're sitting here as the player, the tuner's facing up at you. You can see it. And you can kind of see it from the front, but it's really aimed at the player and it's not on top here. So for those of you who might be focally challenged like me, when I tune the guitar, I sometimes have to put it there so I can see it through my glasses. Here, it's the right distance, so you don't have to hold it at arm's length. Great. Now, we've got, there's a little plastic thing on there. Let's take that off. Ah, here it comes. Very satisfying. Where's the output? Just there. So the output is not part of the strap pin. It is a jack, and that's also where you put the battery in, which is a 9-volt squarey battery. One of these, which is pretty standard for guitar players all over the world. And first impressions. It is, as I've said, smaller than a regular Dreadnought. It might look even smaller on me because I'm over 6 foot tall and make guitars look tiny. I have to show you the back. I'm not sure you're ready for this. Look at that. That is stunning. And because of its price point, this is what's called an HPL, a high pressure laminate. And it kind of feels a bit like the back of an Ovation, if you've ever played one of those. It feels not wooden. There's a texture to it. It's not a wood grain texture, it's a kind of rough, grippy texture. Almost like a real fine sort of, it feels like my suitcase, which is really weird. And that sounds like a bad thing, but it feels like it's hard wearing. The sides are the same. This is not a soft guitar this is designed to be taken around and actually played rather than looked at and oohed and ahed at. I hope it still sounds good. That plastic is bothering me. Let me get rid of that. The neck is what Martin call a select hardwood neck. It looks and feels like mahogany. It is joining the body at the 14th fret, as you'd probably expect. We've got a 1 3/4 inch nut. This is 20 frets. The fret markers are faux abalone, and these are white dots on the side so you can see where you are on the neck. Let's take this off because it's dingle-dangling. One of the things I really like is the brushed chrome tuners, or satin as Martin's calling them. They look classy and they look, for want of a better word, expensive. We'll find out how they tune soon. Back to the top, this is a hand-rubbed satin finish, and that's spruce, and it feels not sort of sticky and glossy. It feels kind of, what's the word? Almost sandy. There is a bit of case dust on there, but it feels like a real piece of wood. Inside, we've got X bracing, and the pickup system is the Martin E1. And I particularly like the way that that's curved over there, chamfered. So when I play, I tend to dig that right arm in quite there, and I get one of those guitar player's marks just here. But this is nice and comfy. The bridge is again selected hardwood, and it looks a little redder than the selected hardwood for the neck. But to sum up the first impressions, it feels like a small dreadnought that is made well with materials chosen to make sure that it hits a certain price point. But of course, all this information is useless if it doesn't sound good. I haven't done anything to it. Let's see if it's in tune out of the box. It's pretty close. It plays like the other Martin D series that I've played. I'm going to get a tuner. I'm going to make sure that it has a tuner. What am I talking about? Buttons for that are in here, which I always forget. But I'm going to tune it with the top-down camera so you can see what's going on in there. And that E is pretty spot on. In fact, it's impossible to tune in that position. Give me a moment. I'm going to pull the strings out a little bit. This has been sent to me not directly from Martin, but from their European distributor, Museffects. So I'm sure they checked it before it was sent out. Now that's from the mic in the ceiling for my voice normally, but from the player's perspective, and with fingers, it feels bright and clear. Not boomy at all. In fact, there's not much bass end there with fingers. I'm going to set up some mics, we're going to record it properly and hear what it sounds like. Well, my job here is to create a sound for you that sounds like it sounds in the room. It's not easy. Okay, for the sound samples, I have the Lewitt LCT 540S just in front of me here. That's pointed at where the neck meets the body and angled down slightly. It's about, well, I can reach it. That's about 80 centimeters, 90 maybe. I do know you can't see it on this camera, and on the front camera it looks a little further away than it is, but I can touch it just there. I've also got it plugged in just here, and the volume is about 80%. And for every sound sample, I'm going to give you 3 versions. One will be the mic, one will be the direct out of this, and one will be the direct out with some mixing and some reverb as well. The sort of thing that I would do live. Nothing too fancy. Right, first up, some cowboy chords. know sound samples are important so that you can get an idea of what the guitar sounds like, but there's so much going on in between the sound being produced here and then your ears is that I have to give some sort of judgment. And again, it sounds bright and bold and very pushed forward. It's definitely not a guitar that sits in the back. It is very open and tight sounding. So there's no flubby low end. There's also nothing up top that's shrill and piercing. It's very focused. And it's a gorgeous guitar to play. Let's try a bit of blues with the fingers. I'm going to take a quick listen with the headphones and get back to you on what I think that sounds like. Okay, on the recording compared to how it sounds in the room, there's a little bit more bottom end on the microphone than there is that I can hear. On the pickup system, it sounds pretty, well, like a pickup system when it's not mixed. On the mixing section, I will, of course, mix it to how I like it live. So there's that. Generally speaking, well, the most important things here is that the guitar is intonated with itself. It's in tune. It's solid. Now, another thing I like to do with all acoustic guitar videos is test the intonation by putting a capitalizer on the neck and see if it stays in tune. So that's on at the 7th fret there. There is a little bit of ringing out somewhere. It's there, which is not uncommon for any guitar to have something going on behind the nuts. I just want to address the fact also that it doesn't feel small when I'm playing it. I don't feel like I'm playing a parlor. I also don't feel like I'm playing a super jumbo, but it is very close to Dreadnought territory. I dig it. It's very, very playable. And I'm truly surprised at how much I like it. Like, my dream Martin is a D-28, and this is fairly close. It does sort of scratch that itch without going into serious money territory. The price is, of course, heavily affected by where you are in the world, and all I can do is sort of summarize where this is in the market, like how much value you're getting compared to other brands. And some countries are getting a better deal than other countries. For example, I'm in Austria, and it's not a one-to-one conversion. In the USA, you're getting a better deal on this, I feel, just financially. Against other guitars without Martin written on the headstock, yes, of course, there are fantastic guitars out there that are less money than this. But this has Martin on the headstock, and it has all the Martin appointments that you won't get with other companies. So if you are looking to enter the world of Martin guitars and you can't quite stretch to that D-28 or whatever it is that is your dream Martin, this will suffice for a while. I think recording-wise, it sounds phenomenal. I will definitely use this when I'm making music, and often when I'm playing budget guitars or more affordable guitars, I think it's great for live, but not often in the studio. This, I think it's going to sit well in any mix. I'm really surprised at how focused the sound of this is. Okay, that is it for this video. If you want more information, there are links down there in the video description. And of course, I would love to hear your thoughts on this guitar. If you have one, let us all know your experiences, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!